Hi everyone, this is Catherine over in Ann Arbor, and today we're going to be talking about best practices for pitching an online marketing Educate for Success call. We're going to be using Al as an example. He's a bankruptcy attorney who's concerned about invalid clicks. As always, we start off by addressing his main concerns, so I would go over the invalid clicks call with him like normal. Then before he left, I would go ahead and bring up the service. I would mention that the service is free and only offered to a select group of people or an exclusive group of people that we believe would really benefit from it. I mentioned that we were trained to deliver this content to them and that we also have a guide that we're going to be following up with that is going to cover everything in greater detail. I always like to be conversational. I don't really like to read off of the paper when I'm introducing the service. I would start by going over ad rank because you're most likely already in the AdWords account. So I would usually just start with keywords, talk a little bit about quality score and bids, mention why they're important, and maybe talk about some match types or something like that. I wouldn't go too much into detail with it because I would want to go pretty quickly onto the website. Because you're already in the AdWords account, it'll be easy to just click on an ad and go to their website. When we're on the website, the first thing we want to do is offer any suggestions we can make to make the website better. In this case for Al, I recommended that he actually put his phone number up in the header. Because he's looking for calls and I have to scroll all the way down to see his phone number, I think it's a great way for him to increase the number of calls that he's getting. Also, always make sure that you can pull their website up on the phone and make sure it's mobile friendly. If it's not, that's a really easy pitch to make. Because we're on the website, this is a really easy way to segue into talking about Google Analytics. You can check right on Tag Assistant if they have Google Analytics or not. In this case, Al doesn't, so I would definitely hit on how easy analytics is to use. I usually like to say that a lot of really successful websites are using it to track traffic, and I would also mention that it's free. Of course, we want to mention that any Google product we're talking about today is free, and that's a great segue into some of the other products that we're talking about. At this point, I would like to have the advertiser pull up a google.com search, and I always like to have them use a search term that's related to their business. In this case, I would have Al look up bankruptcy lawyer. I would quickly go over the ads and organic results, mention how they're different and they would benefit from both. I wouldn't really focus too much on it because we do want to get into the maps listings and the Google Plus pages. I'd like to show Al that many of his competitors do have Google My Business accounts, and they're showing very prominently on the page. If he doesn't have one, which doesn't look like he does based on his website, then he's really missing out on an easy way to market his business more, and again, it's free. I would also talk about how easy Google My Business is to sign up, and again, just that he's missing out on what a lot of his competitors are already capitalizing on. Because we're talking about these maps listings, I would also just talk about the Google Plus pages that are listed underneath every listing. I would mention, if there's any reviews like this one has, how easy it is to have those show, and how important social media is today for online marketing. I would also bring up YouTube just because, in his case, bankruptcy attorneys probably don't have too many videos, but I would just mention that that's another free service that's easy to kind of get the name out there a little bit more. I would finish up by talking about the guide and how it's going to go into greater detail about all the things we talked about. So I would say if you're interested in anything, definitely recommend doing the Google Analytics and getting a maps listing at the very least. That guide is going to go into further detail about how you can do that and how easy it is. At that point, I would have Al open up a chat window and I would go ahead and send it over to him. I usually say, I know we went over a lot today, so I just want to go ahead and have you bookmark this page so that when you do have an extra 15 or 20 minutes, take a look at it and watch the videos, and if you have any questions, definitely feel free to call us back. So overall, I would say, keep everything conversational. Don't go too long on one topic. Always mention that the service is free and everything that we're talking about today, analytics, Google My Business, that's all free. I would definitely pitch that guide as much as possible, and I would just make sure that the continuity of the conversation is really good. So going from the account to the website to analytics to a Google search page to finish up. So that's what I do. If you have any questions, let us know, and thanks for listening.